I think that aspect of the thoroughness of submissions and actually detailed analysis of client was really intrigued me to come over to Synapse. I really enjoyed that side of it. I always looked at the producer side, the broker side, the wholesale side as something that I just truly didn't understand. And even when I got here, it took me a lot of time to understand that. And when I got here, I remember I was talking to some of the partners and I said, now I get it. Like, now I see how much work goes into an opportunity. And to me, that was incredibly intriguing.
Yeah, my experience is after 15 years on the retail side, I knew it was time for a change. And my first 9 years was spent at AIG as an underwriter. And having been with Synapse since its inception as a outside partner to them, and watching what was happening, for me, it was just a matter of when, not if. There was no reason for me to explore, any other opportunities from a larger retail broker or a larger wholesale broker or going back to the carrier. It just, those weren't options for me. And I was seeing what these guys and what these men and women at Synapse were building. And, that was something that I wanted to be a part of.
I think I come from a little different perspective because I think at the time I was one of the few that didn't work at AIG. So you had a lot of history. Y'all all had worked together, so there was some value there. I mean, my story is kind of funny because I approached Ken with the idea of being an outsourced marketing department for small agencies. And he looked at me and said, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. And so we happened to be at RIMS in Denver. We're getting ready to go to a dinner and, spent some time with Dan because I didn't know Dan very well, but we were sitting at the bar and the conversation came up and I brought up that I was going to do this. And Dan looked at me, he said, I think what you're saying is you want to be a wholesaler. Why would you do that on your own? Why don't you do that with us? And I said, well, talk to your partner because he thinks it's the dumbest idea. And Ken said, I still do. So we tweaked a little bit, which is how, we came up with specialty. And the one thing, as I said, the value that Synapse brings is a very different value than the traditional wholesalers do. And I think we should be very proud of that. And so seeing that, it was like, I want to duplicate that. I want to, we can do it. And are there other, as I call it, dysfunctional products out there that that retailers don't understand, right? They don't have the time to it. Most retailers, David, as you'll know, the work comp, GL, auto, umbrella, property maybe. So you focus on that. But when you get to the ancillary products like environmental and stock throughput and cyber and all these other things, they don't have the market relationships. They don't have the time, to learn them. And so having someone that is, an inch wide and a mile deep from an expertise standpoint is great. So, that's what attracted me. I like the model. Can we add other, products? And Dan and Ken said, this makes sense. Let's try to build something out.
Yeah.
Using the expertise and the history and the environmental side that we have, to do this.
I to that point, one of the things that I love about this organization is that every single employee can drive change in our organization. And coming from a very large company, that was not the case, right? You think you could, but you didn't. And here, any one of us can actually drive change in this organization with an idea. And I think that's something that's incredibly powerful and shouldn't be lost on any person.
I think we're expected to.
Totally.
It's not, we're expected to bring change, bring ideas.
Yeah.
This is a very cutting edge company when it comes to developing things, whether it's Centralis or otherwise.
Right.
So,
and that applies not only internally, but I think very much with respect to our retail partners. That's what they're expecting of us.
Yeah.
Right. You mentioned that these guys are so focused on their staple products for their clients that when it comes to the specialty products, which we all sell here, they want to know that the folks that they're partnering with, are going to be able to provide those solutions, and that includes, bringing change.
Yep, driving change. The brand recognition of our organization also has just been the uptick of this has been incredible. Even from this several years that I've been here, it's just been unbelievable. And I think that all is a testament to us as employees and what we've done within this organization to drive that change. And I think just the name alone is now out there, right? Everybody knows who we are now, and I think that's just because of what we've done.
I was actually having coffee last week, and I had my Synapse, jacket on, And I'm seeing this guy walks up. He goes, do you work at Synapse? And I'm like, yes. I was a little. He said, well, I really mentioned I'd like to come work with you guys. And he goes, I'm aware of you. And so it kind of threw me off. But I'm like,
That's awesome.
It's great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's great that happens.
After a few years at our competitor, I decided to join Synapse about 12 years ago, and it's been the greatest thing I've ever done. This is a company that has just been growing by leaps and bounds. I think there was maybe 10 people when I first started here, and now there's probably close to 100 people. To see this company grow like it's grown, it's been unbelievable to me, and it's just been such a great experience. So that's kind of how I got to Synapse.
Had the opportunity to work for, AIG, which is a great company, the 800-pound gorilla, 65% of the market back in early 2000s. Huge. Learned a lot in a really short amount of time. Yeah. And, just got the call one day from Danny saying, hey, I think I got this thing figured out. Would you be interested in joining? And literally, I didn't have a wife or kids. I didn't own a house, nothing. It was all risk, basically. No strategy whatsoever. But I was 27 and said, why not? To your point, there wasn't another company out there that was like Synapse, pure startup, no outside money, completely independently controlled. I just thought, if it's going to work, it's going to work. If not, it's fine. We'll figure something out. I trusted Dan, his ability to make things happen for sure, which was great. And then coming on board and being, again, like one of the few employees back in 2006, meeting the rest of the partners and really seeing the vision and showing up day to day and just putting the work in. Yeah. That was the best career I got. Was in your 20s, you should be just working hard and taking risks. And I was in a position to do that. I didn't know what I didn't know. I thought I was top of the world, 3.5 years into my career at AIG. I thought I knew everything, and came to Synapse and got a big dose of what I didn't know. But learned by kind of doing everything that this company's been getting its hand dirty in over the past 17 years that I've worked here has been just incredible.
To learn more information about Synapse, please visit our website at synapsellc.com or look for Synapse Services LLC on YouTube or LinkedIn.